All right, this is going to be my first adventure into Godot. I already know, well, it's been a little while, but I've used Unity with C Sharp before. So let's see what this Godot thing is about. Do we think we should install Godot through this installer, or do we install it through Nix? Yeah, they have all of it in Nix, but you know what? My host operating system is Windows, so let me just grab it here. Godot engine with C sharp. No, we're going to use their scripting language because I wanted to kind of learn it. So here we go. It's downloading. And we're not going to donate yet. Requirements. Are we Vulkan compatible? I have no idea. Remember again, I'm not client side really. All right, sounds good. Um, Now when I install this, I want you guys to be able to see what I see. So let's make sure there isn't anything on the screen here that's evil. I think we're good, so we can go into desktop mode here. And we will now look at the Godot, I guess, zip file. Here we go. I'm guessing that, what do we just, is this the installer? Here, let me just extract this. All right, so we've extracted it. I wonder, okay, so we downloaded it. What does it want us to do now? Wow, what the hell? Instructions, extract and run. Oh, I guess we just run this. Okay, so we have this now. Is this too small for you? All right, I have no idea how to do any of this, so we gotta find something here where it's like learn what to do next. Download instructions. If you run it, go into troubleshooting, blah, 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 blah. Other demo previous builds. Yeah, okay. So up here, I expect something that tells me how to learn. Features, showcase community assets, download docs, maybe? Okay, here we go. This looks like it. So maybe what I can do is make this a little bit easier for you guys to see. Let me see what size we can make this. We can make this a little bit like this. Let's go into the browser screen again. Okay, so instead of Wes term, we can add the Godot engine. All right, we'll see what happens. I don't know which one we're going to use more yet, so maybe we'll kind of make it half-half for now. Maybe that's a little hard to see. You let me know. All right, so let's see, what is this? Godot Docs 4.3 branch. Welcome to the official documentation. That's a little small, maybe. Like this. Welcome to the official documentation of Godot Engine, the free and open source community-driven 2D and 3D game engine. If you are new to this documentation, we recommend that you read the introduction page to get an overview of what this documentation has to offer. The table of contents in the sidebar should let you easily access the documentation for your topic of interest. You can also use the search function. Okay, sounds good. So let's go back to the introduction and read that like they said. Func ready. Notice the underscore up front. If you are following with Gleam and Rust, You may remember that this means that we are basically ignoring this function or variable, but maybe in Godot it means something else. Isn't it funny, like some languages you have fn, then some languages has fun, and then some languages say function, and now we have func. It's like all the different possibilities. I'm sure there's a language out there where it says funct. That almost sounds like a bad word, doesn't it? Too many bad words. Sounds like two different bad words. What's wrong, Jester? Hey, is your text on here, Jester? Or did you disappear? Why'd you disappear? There you go. I don't know why you disappeared for a while, but there you go. You're back. I am not here. I am here. No, you're not. You're over here now. God, you can't read that. We're not making much progress. Come on, pay attention. ADHD moments. All right. Welcome to the official documentation of Godot Engine. We read this already. Behind this mouthful, you will find a powerful yet user-friendly tool that you can use to develop any kind of game for any platform with no usage restriction whatsoever. You know, I had a meeting with Discord where they were like we were talking about building an activity together, and they suggested using Godot. Like, I was like, hey, should I use Unity for it? They're like, no, we find that Godot works a lot better. So, maybe what we should try to do is, what game are made till now using this engine? I think there's a lot of games using Godot. You never heard of it before? Garden Path looks pretty. Kamaru. I think I've seen this. Usagi Shima. Tail Quest. Lumencraft. Anything with craft is made with Godot. Brotato. Like, of course, everyone needs a brotato. That looks pretty good. Anyway, Clash of Clan. I played that game, bro. Tato is awesome. Yeah, bro. Bruh. Tato is awesome. Okay. Let's go. Before you start, there's everything like they just told us before you start, read the introduction. Now the introduction is telling us before we start. The tutorials and resources page lists video tutorials contributed by the community. If you prefer video to text, consider checking them out. Otherwise, getting started is a great starting point. Yeah, I like to read. In case you haven't noticed, basically all my series is me finding the text for something and just reading it together. So we're going to be doing the reading one. In case you have trouble with one of the tutorials of your project, you can find help in various community channels, especially Godot Discord. I think I'm already on Godot Discord, so we have that already. About Godot Engine, a game engine is a complex tool and difficult to present in a few words. Yeah, you know why I'm interested in Godot was just that whole like Unity thing that happened where they were like changing how their pricing worked and everything. It just felt like bad communication. And I know like it was kind of like overblown in terms of like what it was like trying to do, but still I just feel like we don't want everyone on Unity, and really like Unreal is just too complex for me. Not that I'm too stupid for it, maybe I am, but like I don't want to program in C++ all day, so yeah, screw that. All right, here's a quick synopsis which you are free to reuse if you need a quick write-up about the Godot engine. All right, so this is the blurb. This is what they use to raise money. Godot engine is a feature-packed, cross-platform engine to create 2D and 3D games from a unified interface. It provides a comprehensive set of common tools so that users can focus on making games without having to reinvent the wheel. Games can be exported with one click to a number of platforms, including the major desktop platforms, Linux, Mac OS, Windows, mobile platforms, Android, iOS, as well as web-based platforms and consoles. We're going to make an IO game for sure. Godot is completely free and open source under the MIT license. No strings attached, no royalties, nothing. Users' games are theirs down to the last line of engine code. Godot's development is fully independent and community driven, empowering users to help shape their engine to match their expectations. It is supported by Godot Foundation, the Godot Foundation, not for profit. All right. All right, we're learning a little bit. Organization. All right, we can skip this. We don't need this. We just want to get started, right? Next. 4.3. Is that the Godot version we have? Settings. Wait, where do I find out my version number? Oh, here it is on the bottom. Do you guys see that? It says V43 stable. So we are using 4.3. List of features. This page aims to list all features. All right, so I just want to know how to do it, okay? There's an editor. There's something called GD script. That's the language. I know that much. And I guess there's a debugger. There's the profiler. Good. There's plugins. Rendering. What is this? Fast Forward Plus running over Vulkan 1.0. The most advanced graphics backend suited for desktop platforms only, used by default on desktop platforms. So this is a way to render, right? There's 3 rendering. Forward Mobile, and I guess this is less features, but renders simple scenes faster, and it's better for mobile, and it's okay for desktop, used by default on mobile platforms. And then there's the compatibility mode where it runs over OpenGL or OpenGL ES or WebGL. The least advanced graphics backend suited for low-end desktop and mobile platforms. I have a low-end desktop, so totally we're going to be using this. Used by default on the web platform. 2D graphics, there's 2D graphic stuff. Great. I don't know which one we're going to do. GPU-based particles, cool. 2D tools, tile maps, 2D physics, 3D graphics. HDR, what is that? High dynamic range rendering? Okay. All right, we don't need all of this. Shadow mapping, la la la, reflections, cool, cool, cool. Post-processing, anti-aliasing, 3D tools, 3D physics. Shaders, I want to write some shaders. How you guys doing on Twitch here? You guys alive? Okay. Scripting, everyone's okay? It was like hailing today, literally like snowballs that were like hard hitting me on the head. I was not prepared. And I'm just holding this. Why am I just holding this? Uh-oh. It's object oriented. This is like the death for me. Okay, GD script. Optional static typing. That's cool, so I like that. Similar to Python, we can survive. Syntax highlighting is provided on GitHub. Use threads to perform asynchronous actions. Okay, so, or we can use C#. And then there's GD extension, which is I think what we're gonna like learn eventually, because I want to start with GD script and then try to use GD extension, which lets you use other languages. Maybe we'll use Rust, but I don't know. There's even a Haskell binding. We can go crazy on this. All right, keep going. Networking. Let's just briefly. Okay, so they got TCP networking, UDP. Do you guys know the difference? TCP, transmission control protocol, will send, it's basically a stream, so everything has to be acknowledged and you always get it in order. UDP, uniform datagram packets, uniform datagram protocol. These are lossy and they're just like one-off packets. So if you need ordering, you have to do that yourself. Anyway, windowing, OS, mobile, XR, GUI, animation, file system. Okay, that was a lot. I just want to get to learning. We're still not there, guys. Oh, wow, there's a lot of documentation before we learn. These are just still requirements. We'll just cross our fingers and hope that we can actually do this stuff. Why are we doing facts now? What can I do with Godot? How much does it cost? Which programming? I don't care about any of this. I just want to learn how do we do stuff. Complying with licenses, release policy, changelog. Oh my god. And now we're finally at getting started. Jesus, that was like a long time. Like, who's gonna read all that before it's like getting those, you buy a new product and it comes with like this super huge like manual written in 20 languages and then it comes with like the one sheet with the picture on like how to use it. Everyone uses the one page, right? Like I didn't need all of this. All right. This article is here to help you figure whether, no, I already know I want to do Godot. Please just oh my God, we're still not there, guys. Okay, maybe here. All right, learn to code. We're getting closer. I feel like it's getting warmer, right? Let me make sure that I'm not in trouble yet because I have to get out at some point. I'm going to leave my phone on. All right, learn to code with GDScript. In Godot, you can write code using GDScript and C# programming languages. If you're new to programming, no, we're not. While GDScript is a language specific to Godot, the techniques you will learn with it will apply to other programming languages. Great. Yeah, I bet a lot of people that get into um, this, like, they might not be programmers. A lot of them are artists that are trying to just make a game or whatever. To learn GDScript, you can use the app Learn GDScript from Zero. It is a complete beginner course with interactive practices you can do right in your browser. Click here. Should we do that? Let me see what the rest of this. I have a feeling that's not a good use of our time. But let's continue and see if we need to do that later. In fact, I'll open this up in another browser window. Okay, so we'll have this in case we need it later. What are these? Overview of Godot's key concepts. Okay, this sounds like we're starting to get to important stuff. Every game engine revolves around abstractions you use to build your applications. In Godot, a game is a tree of nodes that you group together into scenes. You can then wire these nodes so that they can communicate using signals. There are 4 concepts you will learn here. We're going to look at them briefly to give you a sense of how the engine works. In the Getting Started series, you will get to use them in practice, okay? Scenes. In Godot, you break down your game into reusable scenes. Yeah, these are like levels or whatever, an area. Depends if it's like 2D or 3D. A scene can be a character, a weapon, that's very violent, a menu in the user interface, a single house, an entire level, or anything you can think of. Godot's scenes are flexible. They fill the role of both prefabs and scenes in some other game engines. All right, this is great. So this is kind of like what we're seeing as a scene here. Here it says scene, and you have all of these nodes, kind of like in a tree-like organization, data structure. You can also nest scenes. For example, you can put your character in a level and drag and drop a scene as a child of it. As a child of it. I can't read English. Nodes. A scene is composed of one or more nodes. Nodes are your game's smallest building blocks that you arrange into trees. Here's an example of a character's node. So here's a player node, and then under that node it has a few things: the camera 2D, the sprite 2D, and a collision shape. And all of them are probably used by different systems. It is made of a character body 2D node named player. Wait, it is made of a character body 2D named player. Ah, I see. This is the character body 2D, although you can't see it in the picture. A camera 2D, sprite 2D, and a collision shape 2D. Yep. A node name, the node name ends with 2D because it is a 2D scene. I see. Their 3D counterparts have names that end with 3D. Beware that spatial nodes are now called Node 3D starting with Godot 4. Hold on, I need more soda. Except I have no idea where I put it. Found it. Notice how nodes and scenes look the same in the editor. When you save a tree of nodes as a scene, it then shows as a single node with its internal structure hidden in the editor. Godot provides an extensive library of base nodes you can combine and extend to build more powerful ones. 2D, 3D, or user interface, you will do most things with these nodes. Okay, sounds good. Node, viewport, window, canvas item, node 2D, and then you have all these things. The scene tree. As your game scenes come together in the scene tree, literally a tree of scenes. And as scenes are a tree of nodes, the scene tree also is a tree of nodes. But it's easier to think of your game in terms of scenes as they can represent characters, weapons, doors, or your user interface. What if I want a window? Everything's characters, weapons, or doors, this game. Seriously. Signals. Here we go. So here's like a level. That's probably like the highest level scene, maybe. And then we have all these nodes under it. Nodes emit signals when some events occur. When some events occurs. What? Nodes emit signals when some event occurs. Okay, it's singular. When some event occurs. This feature allows you to make nodes communicate without hardwiring them in code. It gives you a lot of flexibility in how you structure your scenes. So basically, it's kind of like you don't need to know about like, hey, this node's going to talk to this node. They just kind of like send messages or events, and anyone can kind of listen to them. So I'm guessing these are signals that it can emit or take in. Signals are Godot's version of the observer pattern. You can read more about it here. All right. For example, buttons emit a signal when pressed. You can connect to this signal to run code in reaction to this event, like starting the game or opening a menu. Other built-in signals can tell you when two objects collided, when a character or monster entered a given area, and much more. You can also define new signals tailored to your game. Summary: Nodes, scenes, and the scene tree and signals are four core concepts in Godot that you will manipulate all the time. Nodes, scenes, scene tree, signals. So far, I think we got those. Nodes are your game's smallest building blocks. You combine them to create scenes that you then combine and nest into the scene tree. You can then use signals to make nodes react to events in other nodes or different scene tree branches. After this short breakdown, you probably have many questions. Actually, I have 0. Bear with us as you will get many answers throughout the Getting Started series. I'm kind of used to this whole concept of like they tell you a lot of things and then you just, they're kind of still vague, but You hope that they actually get to showing you stuff soon. Resource. Someone's complaining. Let's go on. First look at Godot's interface. This page will give you a brief overview of Godot's interface. We're going to look at the main screens and docs to help you situate yourself. The project manager. When you launch Godot, hey, doesn't this look very familiar, guys? We got the project manager. Oh, let me update what we're doing here on the stream. Learning Godot. Learning Godot. Sorry about that. Okay. When you launch Godot, the first window you see is the project manager. In the default tab, projects, you can manage existing projects, import or create new ones, and more. Default tab, projects. Ah, this tab here, projects. Got it. At the top window, there is another tab named Asset Library. Hi, GNX. You're learning a lot of things, Gleam Rustnix. I just wanted to ask you why. Why not focusing on one thing? Wow, that's like a really good question. Because I just like so many different things. Today I didn't have a whole lot of time to stream, so I can't really do like a deep dive into like one of the things we're doing because I might be cut off. And this is on my list. I have a limited list. Here's my list, just so you know. It is Haskell 6502 assembly, COBOL, Nix, Rust, LiveView for Phoenix, Godot, which we're doing now, Gleam, and maybe some sight reading music interval training, which has nothing to do with programming. So I really hesitate to do that on stream. But those are our limited things. So you can ask, maybe that's too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things might be too many. But no, this way I don't get bored. So I do have ADHD. I am autistic. I think that this is my special interest for autism, like just programming languages and whatever. And this is me trying to like keep it limited. Otherwise, I just be looking at things all the time. We have gotten pretty far with Nix, you know, like if you look at Nix right now, nix.dev, in the stuff that we've learned, we've covered all of this packaging, we covered the language, we covered overrides, we covered cross compilation. Now we're here in the module system. Look, we're like almost done. So I think we're getting there, G. Like, you know, we are finishing stuff. And I expect that we'll finish the 6502 assembly language next. But yeah, like that's my sort of like little, and then just okay, like always since I was a kid in school, they always want you to like finish something, you know? Um, and it just never worked that way for me. And I finally just accepted that like I think I'm just way happier when I just do what I feel like doing at the moment. And then I went to a museum. You know Rodin, the Rodin, like he did the thing where it's like this, like the sculpture for the thinking man. And I just saw like when they were talking about his history, it was like he had all of these sculptures going on at once. And sometimes he'd just stop on one, sometimes he'd stop for a year, sometimes it never finished, but he made some amazing stuff too, because, you know, the ones he wanted to do, he just kept working on. So I just told myself, like, don't force yourself to eat, like, bad food that you cooked, you know? Like, if you don't feel like doing it, just don't. Just put it away, do something else, and as long as that stuff is helping you learn, I think it'll be beneficial. So there are many things that I've actually finished learning or that I feel like I know pretty well. But yeah, a lot of times, a lot of things will just be like those statues that I never finish, that Rodin never finished. So that's like a short, long answer to a simple question. Um, but yeah, I have some thoughts on that. So where were we? At the top of the window, there's another tab named Asset Library. The first time you go to this tab, you'll see Go Online button. Let's see. Go online. This is true. For privacy reasons, the Godot project manager does not access the internet by default. To change this, click the Go Online button, and you can change this option later. All right, I don't know what I just enabled, but once your network mode is set to online, perfect means finished to in Latin. Does it? That's really interesting. And you know, I took like 5 years of Latin. I don't remember any of it other than like puella, agricola, um, or like the endings, like agricolarum means of the farmer. Um, wow, I forgot so much. God. But let me think. Parfaire in French means to perfect, and faire means to do. Par, by doing. You know the expression pr- practice makes perfect? In French, the equivalent's like it's in blacksmithing that you become a blacksmith. I think Latin perfectus, perfect passive participle of perficere, to finish, from through, thorough, plus facere, to do, to make. Yeah, so it's very similar to parfaire, like through, but faire, I see. So it's the participle. Thank you for sharing that. I love that stuff. Oh, yes, yes, en forgeant qu'on devient forgeron. Exactly. Wow, you guys know so much. How do you know so much? Where are we? Okay, we're just going to switch to making this a linguistic stream. I've been wanting to learn Lojban. I don't even know if that's how you say it. All right, once your network mode is set to online, you can search the demo projects in the open source asset library, which includes many projects developed by the community. All right, so there's demo projects here. The project manager settings can be opened in the settings menu. All right, so there's the settings menu up here, sure. From here, you can change the editor's language. Default is system language, interface theme, display scale, network mode. Speaking of interface mode, is there a way to turn this to dark mode? Is this it? I want to make it like dark mode. Damn it. CUG, totally. So finishing and putting an end to something, that is perfection. Yeah. You know, polishing in French was always a funny word. It's like peaufiner, peaufiner. And I always thought like it starts with po, right? Doesn't that sound like skin? And then finish? It just sounds a little weird. What were the French doing when they were polishing things? First look at Godot's editor. When you open a new or existing project, the editor's interface appears. Let's look at its main area. So I'm going to click on projects again and say create. I'm guessing. Create new project. Here we go. Um, Documents is a funny place to put it, don't you think? Let us put it in, let's go up under projects. I have some projects here. No, I don't have projects here because I'm on my Windows directory. Damn it. All right. New game project. We'll just use this and we'll use forward plus. Okay, that is not going to work on OBS. It just like made a new window. That's huge. I will add that in a second, so just give me a minute. Actually, I might as well just go to desktop here. I don't have chat here, so I'm going to re-add it. Is this the right chat? Yeah, there it is. Polish equals peaufiner, rendre la peau fine, making the skin thin. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Kind of a weird thing to say, don't you think? And where's Twitch chat? And again, it decides to not really render. There's something weird about this. Twitch chat is messed up here, even though I'm using the same one. And when I go back to here, now it's messed up again. All right, well, we won't ask. We'll just do. Have you decided if you want to make a 2D or 3D game? No, I don't think so. I think we just want to learn first and then we'll see. We'll see. We'll have to decide. Probably it'll be a top-down or, isometric view and probably render. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. No idea yet. So how do I view? Here we go. I'm still freaked out about peaufiner, right? Still like. When you open a new or existing project, the editor's interface appears. Let's look at its main areas. By default, along the Windows top edge, it features main menu. This thing? This thing? Probably this thing. Workspace, switching buttons in the center, activate workspace is highlighted, and playtest buttons on the right. Okay. So I'm guessing they mean like these buttons for scene, project, debug, editor. We got some of these things, and then we have like to play it. Yeah, that's what they're showing. Just below the workspace button, the open scenes are as tabs are seen. The plus button right next to the tabs will add a new scene to the project. So over here, we'll add a new scene to the project. Oh, is that what it means? No, it's this one. The plus button right next to the tabs. I guess it means this one because they have it here. With the button on the far right, distraction-free mode can be toggled, which maximizes or restores the viewport size by hiding docks in the interface. Ah, here, this thing is distraction free. Got it. And this will add a new scene. I clicked it, but nothing. Did it do anything? That did nothing. All right. In the center, below the scene selector, is the viewport with its toolbar at the top. God, this is like taking mental energy to read all of this stuff. I'm not very good. No, it's not that weird. It means like a fine polish on metal for a smooth, a uniform surface, like very MCU like current American beauty standard. Interesting. All right, let me try to parse this. In the center, below the scene selector, is the viewport. I guess this is what I'm looking at, right? With its toolbar at the top, right? So this is the toolbar for our viewport, where you find different tools to move, scale, or lock the scene's nodes. Currently, the 3D workspace is active. Okay. This toolbar changes based on the context and selected node. Here's the 2D toolbar. Well, how do I change to 2D? We'll figure it. Oh, nope. We'll just continue. On either side of the viewport sits the docks, and at the bottom of the window lies the bottom panel. Wow, that's like very appropriately named bottom panel. Poor bottom panel. So that means these must be the docks, left and right, and this is the bottom panel. Debugger and output. I have a feeling we'll be spending a lot of time there. At the top near 3D. Oh, here. So these change. Yeah. Some of these tools change. Use local space. See, what would I do if you guys weren't here? I'd just be like, I don't know what these words mean. I give up. Let's look at the docs. The file system doc lists your project files, including scripts, images, audio samples, and more. So file system. Here's our file system doc. Okay, perfect. We have one icon.svg. The scene doc lists the active scene's nodes. Here is create root node 2D scene. So we have no root node right now. The inspector allows you to edit the properties of a selected node. So here's the inspector. Maybe I have to create one first, but we'll wait. The bottom panel, situated below the viewport, is the host for the debug console, the animation editor, the audio mixer, and more. Sounds very important. I wonder why it's on the bottom. They can take precious space. That's why they're folded by default. Thank you for answering me. When you click on one, it expands vertically. Below you can see the animation editor open. Well, it doesn't do much, right? Let's click. There's the animation one. Up, down, audio one. This looks like Adobe Premiere or like Kdenlive or whatever, DaVinci. Debugger. Stack frames. See, this sounds very exciting now. Errors, profiler, visual profile monitors. Probably this will like put it up on the screen. Oh no, it'll print out the values here for FPS. Video RAM, miscellaneous. Network profiler, that's cool. And output, Godot Engine 4.3. Debug adapter server started on port 6006. Language server started on 6005. Okay, cool. What is, these are the two information messages. Yeah. Have you guys ever used a game engine before? Okay. The bottom panels can be shown or hidden using the shortcut defined in editor settings. Okay, that's fine. The four main screens. There are four main screen buttons centered at the top of the editor: 2D, 3D, script, and asset library. You'll use the 2D screen for all types of games. In addition to 2D games, the 2D screen is where you'll build your interfaces. Okay, so when you do, I'm like pouring myself more soda, but I still have a full cup. Um, it's a cute little game, isn't it? In the 3D screen, you can work with meshes, lights, and design levels for 3D games. All right, perfect. This is just a mess of different like vertices. I used Godot to follow a tutorial by Brackeys on YouTube. Oh, how did that go? Was it interesting? And I made a VR game using Unity 3D. Oh, what was your experience with both of those? And did you do much programming? I assumed you use C# for Unity 3D. And for Go, did you use Godot? Did you use GD script? The script screen is a complete code editor with a debugger, rich auto completion, and built-in code reference. Oh, okay, cool. So there's a script screen. Here is like a little editor for us. That's cool. I like that. Maybe, hopefully it's better than VS Code. Don't like VS Code. Oh, why do you say it was a very interesting tutorial? What was weird about it? When someone says something's interesting, it's like not always a good thing, you know? All right, complete editor, built-in code. I love it. I can't wait to start typing. Finally, the asset library is a library of free and open source add-on scripts. All right, so that's here. And we have a whole bunch of things that we can add. So far, so good. Seems very like reasonable. Integrated class reference. Godot comes with a built-in class reference. You can search for information about a class, method, property, constant, or signal by any one of the methods. Press F1 anywhere in the editor. Okay, so we go in script and we press F1. Whoa. Look how long this is. Like serious, right? It's pretty serious stuff. Oh, look at this. Class. It basically gives us online documentation for this stuff. And here I can just jump to the section that I care about. So F1 is our friend. Bool, how much can it say about bool? Is a built-in variant type that can only, so it's like an enumeration is probably what a variant is. The most important data type in Godot, it's not numbers. It's not strings, it's variant. All right, well, let's not worry about it now. Let's just go back to what we're doing. You can search for anything with it. Good, double click, you open up the page, we did that. Alternatively, clicking while pressing Control key on a class name, function name, or built-in, or right-clicking on nodes and doing open documentation. All right, we'll have to remember that we can do that. I don't know if like this counts. I guess not. All right, how far are we along in this menu? Learning new features. Learning to think like a programmer, design step by step. Yeah, let's see if let's see if we can go through this. Making the most of the menu, search docs. We can do help, search help within Go. Okay, the manual has a companion class reference that explains each Godot class's available functions and properties when programming. While the manual covers general features, concepts, and how to use the editor, the reference is all about using Godot's scripting API. You can access it both online and offline. We recommend browsing the reference offline from within the Godot editor. To do so, go to Help, search Help, or press F1. Isn't that what we're just doing, right? Yeah, this is the same thing. So we can do Help, search Help, which is basically F1. Okay, we'll just, how to think like a programmer. Okay, we'll just assume we can muddle our way through that. Learning with the community. Okay. Tells us how to like make a message. Fair enough. I've seen really bad posts. Community tutorials. All right, great. Woo! It was kind of okay. C Sharp for Unity 3D. It was kind of difficult because we were supposed to work in team of 5, and Git with Unity 3D is not that great. Interesting as it was great. Okay, cool. So interesting is good. You're happy. That's what counts. We haven't gotten our feet wet. Like we're still so basic right now. Every game engine is different and fits different needs. Not only do they offer a range of features, but the design of each engine is unique. Oh, I just realized I think my girlfriend actually expects me to show up at the place. When should I come over? We do not have the best communication. She has a lot of things where she kind of lets it sort of like I'm supposed to figure it out, whereas when I talk, I want to be very direct. All right, understand how Godot works, starting from core pillars. Oh, I just want to start programming. Please watch Godot explain in 7 minutes if you're looking for an overview of the game. No, I just want to program. Object-oriented design and composition. Okay, yeah, you can inherit. Scene could be weapon. How about we just like skip all this? Because they're doing it again. They're just like giving us features and stuff. I'm starting to get pissed with this. Okay, step by step. I keep thinking like we're almost there, but this series builds. So we're in a new series now, step by step, right? Because we got from introduction to step by step, and then eventually we get here. Oh, so here's creating instances. We're actually doing stuff, I think. So it's good. Please just go away. Step by step. This series builds on the introduction to Godot, gets you started with the editor and engine. You will learn more about nodes and scenes. Code your first classes. Let's get there. Come on. All right. So nodes, creating instances, blah, blah, blah. Let's go. Nodes and scenes. We saw that a game is a tree of scenes. Yes, yes, yes. Nodes are the fundamental building blocks of your game. They are like the ingredients in a recipe. There are dozens of kinds that can display an image, play a sound, represent the camera, and much more. All nodes have the following characteristic. They all have a name. They have properties. They receive callbacks to update every frame. You can extend them with new properties and functions. You can add them to another node as a child. So you can take any node and put it under another node. And they all have a name, and they have properties, they have callbacks, and you have a way of extending them. The last characteristic is important. Together, nodes form a tree, which is a powerful feature to organize projects. It's basically like folders and files, right? I mean, since different nodes have different functions, combining them produces more complex behavior. As we saw before, you can build a playable character. You can build a playable character the camera follows using a character body 2D node, a sprite 2D node, a camera 2D node, and a collision shape 2D node. Scenes. When you organize nodes in a tree, like our character, we call this construct a scene. Once saved, scenes work like new node types in the editor, where you can add them as a child of an existing node. In that case, the instance of the scene appears as a single node with its internals hidden. So when you add it as a child to another node, then it shows up as kind of opaque. We don't see what's inside of it. That's what I think I understand from what they're saying. Did I get a response back? No, no response. Scenes. When you organize nodes in a tree like our character, we call this construct a scene. Once saved, scenes work like new node types in the editor when you can add them as a child of an existing node. In that case, the instance of the scene appears as a single node with its internals hidden. Scenes allow you to structure your game's code however you want. You can compose nodes to create custom and complex node types. Oh, here we go. I think I got a call. Hello? Hi, I'm doing a stream right now. Do you want me to meet you somewhere for dinner? No, 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 I want to. I want to. I really want to eat with you. Just tell me when and where because it wasn't clear. Can we just meet in the city near Opera? Or oh, you have your car. So what does that mean? Oh, well, tell me just text me where you want to meet then, okay? All right. And then I'll head out. Just tell me when and where. All right. Congratulations on the certification. Love you. Bye. All right, we're still working on communication. Sorry about that. Scenes allow you to structure your game's code however you want. You can compose nodes to create custom and complex node types, like a character that runs and jumps, a life bar, a chest with which you interact, and more. All right, stop promising us and show us. I feel like I can start skip. Okay, here, look, creating your first scene. This is grabbing my attention. Let's create our first scene with a single node. To do so, you will create a new project first. We did that. After opening, you should see an empty editor. Yes, we see that. Here's the empty editor. Exciting. Tell me where. um, we have this. We got that in an empty scene. The scene dock on the left shows several options to add a root node quickly. 2D scene adds 2D node. 3D scenes add node 3D. All right. These presets are here. User interface adds control. Where's the user interface? Oh, this adds. I see. User interface adds a control node. Sorry, that got close to the mic. These presets are here for convenience. They are not mandatory. Other node lets you select any node to be the root node. In an empty scene, other node is equivalent to pressing the add child node button at the top left of the scene dock. This guy. Add child node. Yep. Control A. Which usually adds a node as a child of the currently selected node. We're going to add a single label node to our scene. Its function is to draw text on the screen. Press Add Child node. You guys are seeing this, right? So we're going to click Add Child node. And I'm guessing there was like a label node. Maybe this is it? Okay, so it had a bunch. We find label, we add label. Click on the label node, click button. All right, so here we do, click. Now we have a label. It looks a lot like the screen on the browser here, right? Like this. A lot happens when you add a scene's first node. The scene changes to the 2D workspace because label is a 2D node type. Did it change to 2D? Yeah, it did. It's up here. It shows that it changed to 2D. The label appears selected in the top left corner of the viewport. The node appears in the scene dock on the left. Yeah, that's here. And the node's properties appear in the inspector dock on the right. I did not notice that. Here we go. Look at all this. We got like a whole bunch of properties, including text. It looks like the main one. I'm getting like scam messages on Skype. Alright, so we're going to change a node's properties. And the next step is to change the label's text property. Let's change it to Hello World. Alright, let us. Head to the inspector dock on the right of the viewport, click inside the text property and type Hello World. Like just like this. Hello World. And we see it show up on the screen. Is this easy for you guys to see? You can move your label node in the viewport by selecting the Move tool in the toolbar. Okay, so here we are, Move tool. And now I can like move this around. Look, there's like a little bit of a delay. That's probably because my computer is really old and slow. Look, there's scale. I bet that works like. Whoa. That anti-aliasing is not very good, is it? Alright. Drag it anywhere. Wait, did it say anywhere? Move it to the center of the view delimited by the rectangle. Okay. Is that the center? Running the scene. Everything is ready to run the scene. Press the play scene button on the top right of the scene. Or press F6. We're just gonna run scene. Is this the run scene? F6. Whoa. Save. I'm so confused. Where is this gonna save it? Hello world. Looks like we have a game, guys. A pop-up invites you to, which is required, click the save button and we'll save it as label.tscn. The application should open a new window and display the text Hello World. Yes, we got that. Close the window or press F8. So here, we're going to press F8 and see if that works. Look at that. Setting the main scene. To run our test scene, we use the Run Current Scene button. Another button next to it allows you to set and run the project's main scene. You can press F5 to do so. Alright, so F5, we select which one, and we only have one scene. There we go. So that's just this button, right? Run project, yeah, F5. We did this, we did that. Demo should be running. Alright, the next part, key concept in the game, creating instances of a scene. Well, I think, all right, see you, Mau. Sorry I didn't see that earlier. I have to actually head out too, so this is perfect timing. We did changing node proning, running the scene, setting up the main scene. So we'll do creating instances next, and hopefully scripting languages because that's oh my god, we're not actually I see it. Then we do creating your first script. This is what I want to do. We'll get there. We're cheating right now. Look, there's code. All right, so that'll be the exciting part. Looks pretty easy. So that's it for today. Wow, it's already been an hour though, so I don't feel too bad. There's a lot of like blabbering about silly things. So we did some Godot. I'm gonna write down where we left off because I always forget. I'm like, oh, when I start the next Godot one, I'm gonna be like, where did I end up? So the next one we're gonna do is under step by step, step by step. I use like a literal pencil and like paper. I get this from Muji. Do you guys have Muji? Do you even know what it is? I love Muji. I get everything from Muji. I love Muji. All right. And then we did where were we? Now, no, we did nodes and scenes, creating instance. We did this, right? No, we didn't do this. See, this is how bad things are for me. All right. So we did nodes and scenes. We finished nodes and scenes. So the next thing is creating instances. Written down. We're good. We'll do that next time. And thank you for hanging out with me during this exploration of Godot. Yet another thing that we started looking at. And if you enjoyed this, then do follow, like, subscribe, whatever the word is on the platform you're on. There's a Discord server you can join also where we can hang out or like talk or ask questions if anything seems unclear for today. I bet this was super simple. Anyone could have done it, but like if we start getting into different code, maybe like there'll be other questions or comments or suggestions. So please feel free to do that. Um, I guess that's it. Thank you guys. I had fun. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.